Star Trek: Strange New Worlds has its fair share of romantic pairings, but how do they stack up against one another? In a 2023 interview with Variety, Akiva Goldsman, one of the showrunners of Strange New Worlds, described the show as a lot of relationship stories in space. Following the adventures of Captain Christopher Pike, Anson Mount, and his USS Enterprise, Strange New Worlds has not only explored numerous relationships from many different perspectives but has also experimented with a variety of genres in fascinating ways. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds explores many different kinds of relationships, but the show contains more romance than many other Star Trek series. While most of the love stories and relationships on Star Trek, the original series and Star Trek: The Next Generation, for example, only lasted for one episode, Strange New Worlds has been able to take more time to dive into its characters and their relationships. While Strange New Worlds has become a show about so many different things, Goldsman's description truly gets to the heart of the show's stories. Lieutenant Lauren Noonien and Lieutenant James T. Kirk, played by Christina Chong and Paul Wesley. After forming a connection with an alternate reality version of Captain James T. Kirk, Lauren reaches out to the Lieutenant Kirk of her universe. While this Kirk feels echoes of the connection between him and Lauren, he is currently involved in a complicated relationship with Carol Marcus. In the Star Trek: Strange New Worlds musical episode, Lauren tells the Prime Universe Kirk about her feelings for his alternate universe counterpart. Although Kirk acknowledges that he feels a connection to Lauren, he reveals that Carol is currently pregnant with their child due to her traumatic past and connection to Khan Noonien Singh, Ricardo Montalban. It took a lot for Lauren to open up to Lieutenant Kirk as she did. While Lauren did not blame him for his confession, she was understandably devastated by the news. Still, based on the events of Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, viewers know that Carol Marcus, BB Besh, will eventually call off her romance with Kirk and raise their son on her own. This would open the door for Lauren and Lieutenant Kirk to explore the connection they have, one that appears to span multiple universes. Lieutenant Spock and T. Priang, played by Ethan Peck and Gia Sandhu. Spock's Vulcan fiancée T. Priang was first introduced in Star Trek: The original series Amok Time, but Star Trek: Strange New Worlds has given their relationship more depth. Spock and T. Priang were engaged in 2259, and Spock spent some time on Vulcan that year before returning to his post on the Starship Enterprise. As a full-blooded Vulcan, T. Priang approaches her relationship with logic, but she and Spock obviously care for one another. T. Priang appeals to Spock's Vulcan side, and the two make a great pair, although Spock's human emotions sometimes cause problems. In Strange New World Season 2, Episode 5, Charades, T. Priang and her family visit the Enterprise for an engagement dinner. Prior to the dinner, Spock was turned into a full human by a group of advanced aliens. Spock did not tell T. Priang about this transformation, and, although Spock was soon restored to his Vulcan human self, T. Priang suggested the pair take some time apart. This led Spock to give in to his feelings for Nurse Christine Chapel, Jess Bush, who brings out his more human tendencies. 3. Lieutenant Lauren Noonien and Captain James T. Kirk, played by Christina Chong and Paul Wesley. In Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 3, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, Lauren travels back in time to 21st century Toronto with an alternate universe Captain James T. Kirk. As Lauren and Kirk work to find a way back home, Lauren discovers that this version of Kirk has never heard of Khan Noonien Singh. This helps Lauren open up to him and lower some of the walls she has built around herself. During their adventure, Lauren and Kirk encounter an undercover Romulan operative named Sarah Adelaide Kane, who had been sent back in time to disrupt human progress. Sarah's original plan was to blow up a cold fusion reactor, which would decimate the city of Toronto, but when Kirk and Lauren disrupt her mission, Sarah decides to kill the young Khan Noonien Singh, Desmond Sivan. When Kirk and Lauren confront Sarah, the Romulan operative fatally shoots Kirk, much to Lauren's horror. Lauren overpowers Sarah and checks on Khan before returning to her own timeline, mourning a version of Kirk who doesn't exist and a lost love she can tell no one about. Lauren and Kirk have an undeniable connection and their love story is as beautiful as it is tragic. Captain Christopher Pike and Captain Marie Battelle, played by Anson Mount and Melanie Scrofano. Since his introduction in Star Trek: Discovery Season 2, Anson Mount's Captain Christopher Pike has become one of Star Trek's most beloved and relatable captains. In its series premiere, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds introduced Captain Marie Battelle as Pike's romantic partner, and the two are truly a perfect match in many ways. As Starfleet captains, Pike and Battelle stay busy, but they manage to carve out time to see one another whenever they can. Even when Battelle arrested Lieutenant Commander Una Chin Riley, Rebecca Romin, Pike came to understand that her hands were tied and did not hold her actions against her.